Nicolai, this week at Telecom Council's TC3 event here at the Computer History Museum, your company Matchmakers and Author D. Little ADL, in conjunction with Telecom Council, announced a report. Can you talk about that report and some of the key takeaways?
Absolutely, no, very, very happy to. So basically we looked at the topic of innovation for telecom operators. That's a big topic, obviously. And we wanted to get a full glimpse of not only where is the heat, so where is the main activity, but also to get very concrete as what are different learnings from both the telecom operator perspective, as well as the startup, as well as the invective. So we launched the report based on an online survey, basically 15 minutes, asking people to participate on a very senior level, and we did a fantastic feedback on that one. Received more than 80% of total global telecom revenues participated in the study. So and also about 100 investors and startups participated to get it a full glimpse and kind of maybe the punchlines. Innovation is a key topic, is a key strategic topic, which is very important because it's not a key business priority. So the point is where it really breaks yes, there's a lot of saying on the CXOs, we gotta be innovative and we need to drive change, but the problem is it often breaks. And I think it's predominantly kind of the two reasons behind it. It's one, you still find a lot of breaks in terms of the CapEx, OpEx and FTE allocation processes. So very often, yes, you say something is important, but then when it comes to a resource allocation, actually the process somewhere breaks, so that yes, I have a mandate, but I don't have anything to work with. And then the second part, really what telecoms on a global level struggle a lot with is the shareholder expectations. Just from a risk profile, telcos are seen as steady cash getting cows, and they are not really allowed for the real sustainable change on the transformation, which is required. And that where really it often breaks, that the shareholders don't allow to run through a transformation. And we did identify a few of the corporates which you really put innovation as a strategic and as a business priority. They managed to run the turnaround. And what you could see that's very interesting, kind of just when looking at revenues, EBITDA and free cash flow over the last 3 years, so CAGR from 2012 to 2015. So those who managed to break turnaround is they managed to outperform on revenue growth, 4 percentage points, on EBITDA, 3.5 percentage point per year, but on the free cash flow, it took them 5 percentage points less per year.
But they're investing in innovation.
Absolutely. So they are investing, so they are now in a better position to take it forward. It took a painful hit, 5 years, 5% less growth in free cash flow generation compared to those who just optimized the bottom line, but they shrank on the revenue line, they shrank on the EBITDA, and now 3 years later, who's in a better position?
So what are some of the innovation themes that came out of the report or that you observed are coming out of the report? Things like IoT or 5G or NFV, SDN.
Yeah.
What are you seeing as the key themes for innovation?
Yeah. So basically, for the report, we split, on the one hand, we split the main domains into 5 key domains: the network, the IT, the core products, the customer interaction, and the adjacencies. And below that one, we have 36 subdomains, so going really on a detailed level. On a key top line, network remains hot. It predominantly remains hot with the incumbents. So they still say by far, this is my most priority topic. More than 40% of all market leaders say yes, it's the network which is key. So my old competitive advantage remains my future competitive advantage. For the customer interaction, so really kind of they're saying, hey, we probably can't compete on the network, but let's really focus on the customer interaction. This is their key priority topic, same around 40% to say, yes, that's my key focus. Surprisingly, and I think worrying, really kind of one of the most worrying facts for me was only 7% of all telcos say IT is my top priority. So IT overall is by far the least priority topic. Kind of typical approach, right? The black box, don't let me deal with it, let somebody else handle it. Calling the big guys in and please fix it, which only makes things worse because as the big, all the big players nowadays, they say IT is my core capabilities from other industries, but telcos still are not there, and that was really worrying for us from the point of that IT is still so less interesting. It's still such a topic where nobody really wants to get a head around.
Got it. Can you talk about the new entrants that you consider new telecom entrants? For example, you consider some of the over-the-top providers, the Googles, the Facebooks of the world. Are they starting to look more and more like telcos? in your survey?
I mean, no, not really. Kind of, we also do, for the survey itself, we focused really on the operators as such. Of course, we looked at them, and there's a lot of fear of what would happen if Google would come with a multi-aggregator network? Would that take away my competitive advantage? Because the fear really is for the telco, it's the struggle for my future competitive advantage, and that's why they're a lot of very careful. They still believe the network will remain. But of course, those games coming in from new players, in particular when they start to attack the network, that is what is worrying for them. Maybe it's more like for me, when we ask the startup side really and the corporate side, we ask, are you collaborate? And then we ask that on a domain level. And basically, I think this again, it's very interesting. It's so saying for the telco operators field is, you see that in network, obviously telcos don't want to collaborate. Get the hell out of here. I don't want you. And on the other hand, already startups realize that one and say, hey, I actually don't need you. I'm so disruptive, because we asked on the disruptive lever. And in the network, startups are the most disruptive. So that's why we call that one is going to be the fighting grid, where really we see a lot of controversy, a lot of stuff happening. Let it be from the big, old, so to say, startups, or even from new startups. We would say actually, hey, network, that's a collaborative game, but it's far not. Telcos don't want startups or don't want to partner, and startups say, I don't need you, I do something else. Yeah. And then on the other extreme, you would have those kind of the adjacencies, right, where telcos, yes, I want to have partners, of course, bring me the innovation, sitting in their throne and saying, bring it on to me. Already here, you see also that's where startups also don't want to collaborate anymore. They say, hey, I'm good. I really kind of pick and choose the best partnership options for me. Yes, and sometimes it might. But it's really that's what the reversed game. Before, of course, telcos sitting on the throne come to me and yes, no. And that's where telcos really need to have a mindset shift, that this is really, so to say, the war or the fight for talents. That's where the telcos really need to dress to impress, because they need to attract the startups. So that's kind of what we see in the collaboration part happening.
Let's close by talking about your company, Matchmakers. What do you do, and what's your value proposition?
We actually just focus on the last point, this collaboration. We bring innovation to scale. We focus on creating impact, revenue impact within 12 months. Start our journey with startups, usually around a Series A, Series B, so market proof already existing. And now it's all about scaling those startups up. When they need market access, they need to understand how to reach the big guys, how to collaborate with the big guys, how to close the deal, and even when the deal is closed, how to then bring it to life. And that's what we focus on. So we have a range of portfolio startup which you take throughout the entire journey. And as we are a venture company, we don't invest cash and we don't take equity, but we invest our time, resources, network access, and only profit when actually the startup profits by additional revenues on the books. So that is our venture. We say, yes, we look for the best startups, take the innovation and help them to scale with the operators. So we're exactly trying to get this collaboration to work.
Can you give us an example of a success story, and also talk about the markets? Are you global? Are you European based? What markets do you serve?
So we started, initial vision really was, we was focusing on Europe. So we're a young company ourselves, just the second year in existence. We focus on Europe. We are now a team of around 40 people, a lot of them former C-level executive, based in 22 countries, predominantly in Europe. But we're also looking for innovation in Israel and in Tel Aviv, just as a startup country, just great. We have our first representation in Hong Kong and Vietnam, and our first in the US. But key focus will be the Europe, because that's also where we have, just so many operators who all are looking for innovation, so that the challenge is bigger. In terms of success story, I said we're still early, but we're working with one company, for example, GeoNet, mobile advertising. They take the mobile operators' CRM data, anonymize them, cluster them, acting extremely blind, and put them and provide them to the networks, to the ad network side to increase the targeting caps. Here we have made significant deals with the telcos. Unfortunately, this is all NDAs because the telcos don't want to be in the front light of saying, hey, I'm in this game. Yeah. But yes, that's where we see traction and where we really see also things happening. So that's our most advanced startup, so to say.
Okay. Nicolai, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.